Here to talk about all of this is Tracy Walder, a former CIA officer and FBI special agent. Tracy, the family originally said that they did not recognize this kidnapper. But the fact that this man so brazenly walked into the apartment in broad daylight, taking the baby, didn't that give a clue that this was not random?
Thank you so much for having me back on, Adrienne. Yes, this is a huge red flag that this is obviously not random. While the family may have not recognized the man who took baby Brandon out, they may have recognized the accomplice, which I know there's been some discussion as to whether or not she was perhaps with the grandma, why the grandma was grocery shopping earlier. My initial hypothesis or gut reaction to this is that perhaps this is someone on maybe dad's side of the family. I do not think that this is a situation where the baby's being trafficked or something like that. But I'm wondering if I know his father's in jail, and I'm wondering if that might have something to do with it. And, you know, we have to remember that less than 1% of kidnappings are done by strangers.
Wow, less than 1%?
Yes.
That's something else.
Really low, yeah.
Wow. Well, all three suspects reportedly have some connection to the family. But is that the reason why? Do you think that the father being in custody for some other reason, likely, I don't know why, but is that why they're maybe being a little more tight-lipped about the connection to the family?
That's what my initial reaction says. Obviously, I don't know what the father is in custody for. Obviously, it could be a multitude of reasons, and sometimes, you know, I saw this at the FBI. When you're dealing with the incarceration of one parent, there are custody issues, and sometimes those custody issues even go past dad. Right? They may be custody issues involving the paternal grandparents, paternal aunts and uncles, and that really could be what we're seeing here, which may be why this gentleman wasn't initially recognizable to grandma and the family.
And you mentioned that less than 1% of abductions are from strangers. But I would think that there are a lot of motives regarding child custody when you have a kidnapping of somebody who knows the family member.
Yes, I think, you know, there's a couple different motives. I have seen firsthand motives where it's not necessarily, you know, dad who's in prison or mom who's in prison that's necessarily fighting custody. But you have to remember that, you know, grandparents, aunts, uncles, they also have rights and visitation rights to those children. So that could be a huge motivating factor. I think this is less of a sort of trafficking situation like we see, you know, trafficking for, you know, selling of babies in the baby black market and things like that, and more of a highly disputed custody situation.
Yeah, which is comforting in some ways. I mean, just the fact that this wasn't random. My first thought was like, oh my God, please let that baby get back home to its family. It's just amazing. And thankfully that did happen. Tracy Walder, former CIA officer and FBI special agent, as always, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.